Thank you for joining me today on God's Messenger / the Oracle Guide here on the Poor Folks Broadcasting Network. Appreciate you joining me today. Don't forget to hit that subscribe bell notification so you know when new videos come out. What I wanted to speak about, this is just a little quick video. What I wanted to speak about was, being asked questions. I see people asking each other questions in the comments about some very insulting things are being said about Africa, about the continent of Africa, calling it S-hole place, and why since civilization, since it's the cradle of civilization, are they in such bad shape today? How come they've never been able to accomplish certain things compared to other civilizations, other continents, other countries, besides the countries in Africa? And I just wanted to stop by real quick to give an answer on that. Okay, the answer is very, very simple. First of all, it wasn't an S-hole country, it wasn't an S-hole continent in the beginning. Obviously, it wasn't, because some of your ancestors kept coming and fighting wars to try to take over the people and the resources of Africa. So it couldn't have been all that bad. You were coming there with superior power to fight. Horses, coming with more sophisticated weapons. If you remember in Zulu Wars, the British brought down to South Africa cannons, things like that. They fought the best that they could, but they were outdone by the fact that the people who were attacking them were better at war than them. The barbarians were better at war. They had time to perfect war because they had to fight for every morsel of food that they put in their mouth, and somebody was trying to take it. So what did they do? They came and saw a group of people who had natural resources, who had food, who had civilization, a place to live, sewage system, things like that they didn't have back at home. Back in Europe at that time, they didn't even know how to take a common bath. This is not me saying this. This is in the history books. Read it for yourself. But what they did have was an ability and a want to come, see something they like, and then through force take it. And that was a lot of groups of people. If you look at the times when Egypt and the surrounding area changed hands, it was always somebody coming trying to conquer and hold on to Egypt. And then Egypt would get it back, and then somebody else would come and take it back again. And this went on and on. Okay? So how's that relative to today? How it's relative to today is the continent of Africa is the richest natural resource place on Earth, continent on Earth. I mean, there's, in certain places in Africa, there's diamonds on the ground, like in Sierra Leone, that you can people just kick to the side just like they do rocks. There's gold, okay? There's platinum, palladium, just oil. There's so many riches there. But the powers that be, we know who they are. The government powers that be in the USA and in Europe and other places. They want those resources today just like they did back then. So what do? They use their power, still superior weapons. There's no nuclear weapons in Africa. There's no aircraft carriers. They use their superior weapons still today to keep control over Africa. And very smartly, they give money to the government of certain countries to fight against the rebels. and they give the rebels money and arms to fight against the government. And while those two are fighting, they're picking up the diamonds off the ground or the gold or whatever it is they want. They even, as I said before, have a law, a worldwide law now. If you pick up a diamond off the ground, they cut your hand off. That way you still got another hand to work in the diamond mines for like nothing, like a couple of dollars a week, instead of what could you do with that diamond coming from your land on the open market. If they catch you again, they cut off your other hand. Now you can't work in the mines anymore. Actually, I think they cut off a foot, so you still can work in the mines for a while. If they catch you the third time, then they just kill you. You see, because then they don't have to worry about you getting the diamonds out. And people were still getting the diamonds out because they're hungry. They want to do better. They want to feed their family. So the powers that be said, as I told you before, if you do not have a stamp in that diamond that has gone through Antwerp and gone through De Beers, then we're going to call it a blood diamond. Watch the movie Blood Diamond. Explain the whole thing. All right? If we catch you with that in Europe, in the United States, you're going to jail for a long time. That's on the books today. So when you say, why is Africa not as progressive as other places? It's because you need to take your foot off of Africa's neck. Take it off. And then let's see. Let's just go country for country and let's see who's thriving. Okay? The northern part of Africa, that now is called the Middle East, they let one natural resource out, oil. Just one of the things that they had and that the continent of Africa has. And what happened? Shift in power. Now they're giving the powers to be all the problems that they want. Trying to become a nuclear power. They have more money than anybody else. That was with one resource. Imagine if all of the resources in the continent, natural resources in the continent of Africa, came into play that were in their control. Going to happen someday. This is what I'm saying. Why is it going to happen someday? Because it's the information age now. And information is power. And it won't be long before they figure out how to start taking more advantage of their own natural resources. It's going to happen. The cat is out the bag. So we might as well prepare ourselves for that eventuality. Okay? So now you have the answer. You